Ciao, hello, welcome to the channel. And today's video's theme is going to be about relationships. So the last video I did about dating a Vietnamese citizen has been very popular. It's over 1,000 views, so people seem to be interested in what my experience or what the experience of people I know and what I've witnessed about dating a Vietnamese girl as a foreigner, or a guy, whatever. So let's begin. The last video I spoke about that family would be the first thing that is in a woman's heart, no matter what. I really stressed that in the last video that I made, that no matter what, you need to be aware and you need to accept that you are going to be number two in your girlfriend's heart, even your wife's heart. If you marry a Vietnamese girl, I don't know how the economy, or I don't know how it would work for a woman marrying a Vietnamese man, but I do know for a man marrying a Vietnamese woman, these rules, seem to apply. So yeah, you're gonna be second in their heart. I mentioned that. I stressed the importance of that. So if you want to be refreshed, watch my other video, the first one I did. But yeah, just quickly, briefly, you're never gonna be more than family. So if you are a foreign teacher, can you see a possible conflict of interest that might happen in your relationship? Can you foresee where there might be a problem? So I'm going to give you 5 seconds to try to think of it, okay? You're number two. You're a foreigner going to her country or his country, okay? Depending if you're a guy, girl, or whatever you're into. 5 seconds, okay? Try to think of what the big issue is. So 5. Okay. Yes. If you thought of it, here it is. All right, you ready? You like to travel, obviously, or you wouldn't be here in Vietnam. You traveled all the way to the other side of the world. Means that you were willing to leave your family behind, your friends behind, everything you know behind for this experience. For whatever reasons that you have, you chose it. You can't expect the girl. I'm just going to keep it easy. I'm just going to talk about it from a guy dating a girl's perspective, since that's what I know, okay? And, so, sorry, ladies. I'll try to find some information out about what it's like for, females dating Vietnamese men, but for now, we're just going to keep it guy dates a girl, okay? So, so you guys, you chose to come out here. You chose this lifestyle. You find yourself a Vietnamese girl, and now what? Are you willing to stay here? Are you willing to make your life here? Are you gonna ask her to go back to your home country? So say you're from the UK. Say you're from America. Say you're from Russia. I see a lot of South African. Shout out to all my friends in South Africa. That is going to be a conflict. That is going to be something that is going to be something you're gonna kick the can down the road, but you're eventually going to have to address what are you going to do and what are you willing to sacrifice. Because in American culture, and I've tried to explain this to a few girls, women, when I say girls, don't take offense, I don't mean that, I call boys, guys, girls, but that in America, it's generally, our relationships are 50-50. Generally it's, like when it comes to making decisions. So, the guy wants to do this, the girl wants to do this. Okay, let's compromise. Let's find a 50-50 solution. I'll sacrifice 50, you sacrifice 50, or I'll, let you have this one, I get the next one. But when you're asking something like, hey, leave your family behind, it's not as easy for Vietnamese as it is for you as an American or a British or a Russian or whatever, you know. Vietnamese have traditional family duties. It's really big in Asia too. They are expected to take care of their family. This is a, very thing that weighs on them. That is almost like a duty that you will take care of your parents. They took care of you. So that's why you see so much in Asia and Vietnam, especially in North Vietnam. So if you're in North Vietnam, away from all the Western influence of Saigon, I even like to call it that. I like to, call it Ho Chi Minh City out of respect. But Ho Chi Minh City, and I know a lot of Vietnamese like to call it Saigon, so it's just my personal preference, okay? I've lived in the North Vietnam. I've learned, how North Vietnamese live their lives. It's a lot more traditional, and it's a lot less Western influence, okay? So, but, yeah, a lot of girls are not going to be willing to just get up and go with you. Now, maybe you could work something out. Hey, we buy a house, we go and visit, your family every so and so, maybe you could work something out, but you have to keep in mind her responsibilities to her family, especially if they get older. Okay? So just keep in mind that's going to be something that you should probably, date. Do the 2-year rule, okay? So, like, relationships should be broken down in my idea about this. You don't really know a girl, and this applies for you too, ladies, all right? You don't really know a guy. The base, all right, so we're like a pyramid, okay? So level 1 takes about 6 months to get a general idea, to see if there's any, mask, face. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of people can wear masks for several years before they pull it off, but generally 6 months, okay? You don't make it serious. I'm talking like marriage at least. At the very minimum, you should be dating at least 2 or 3 years, at the very minimum. And in Asia, it's not common. In Asia, people get married after a few months. 5 months, people get married. 4 months, a couple months. It's so different in Vietnam. So as a Westerner too, that's going to be another thing that's going to be challenging. Okay, you are used to waiting. You are used to taking your time in a relationship. Now, I can't speak for all Americans. There's a lot of guys that are dumb, dumbays that will just, get married without thinking and without getting to know, but men who have a little bit of brain cells to rub, 2 brain cells to rub together, or experience, or just has patience. Realize, knows like look, it's just a title. Love is not proven. Or your amount of loving somebody is not proven by a piece of paper. Now, don't get me wrong, I am a hopeless romantic. I do like the idea of marriage. I think that is something that is our generation has been tricked into thinking we don't need, and instead it's all about love yourself, please yourself, be selfish. But no, we were not meant for that. You're meant to help others, love others. There's no, take it from somebody who's lived for himself. Look at me. I'm alone on the other side of my world, right? On the other side of the world. Like, is that more rewarding than, loving somebody and sharing a life with somebody? Time will tell. Maybe you can have both. But, yeah, just be aware that the length of the relationship, okay? So she's going to expect you to make some moves. When I say make some moves, I mean you can't sit on the pot. You either take the poo or get off the pot. So my grandpa used to say, take a she or get off the pot. Meaning, eventually after dating, you're going to have to make a move. Of course, some girls will wait. Other girls, it might worry them, it might hurt them, it might hurt their feelings, they might not understand because in their culture they're not used to. So the best tip is always going to be Communication. You're going to have to every single day when dating a foreign, Vietnamese, communicate, clarify. I can't tell you how many times, let's say, I'm not going to say if I'm in a relationship or if I've been in one, we'll just say hypothetically. I can't tell you how many times that, I or somebody I know, even years into a relationship, will have to clarify, hey, look, right, we're disagreeing. This could lead to an argument. This is just a misunderstanding. So let's clarify, okay? This is what I'm trying to say. Boom, problem solved, crisis averted, But you're going to have to be doing a lot of that. Also, keep in mind that when you marry, you marry the family. So when you marry the girl, you marry the family. You got to be a part of her life and her friends. It's not just that, her friends too. Vietnamese girls like to take you and have you involved in their lives. And I'm not generalizing. I'm not trying to speak for all Vietnamese women, but just from what I experienced, like they want you there with them and their groups of friends. Vietnamese are very social. Groups of friends that have known each other for a long time, so they'll love to go to a coffee house and play cards or karaoke. And if you're not used to that, or if you don't speak Vietnamese, you're just sitting there, Or if you do speak Vietnamese and don't tell nobody and just listen, you'd be, yeah, just keep that in mind. And the next point I'm gonna say is Vietnamese. When it comes to if your relationship does get serious, you're gonna need to set clear boundaries about what you're gonna do when it comes to, like, if you do get a place together, if you do get married eventually, what are you gonna do about your money? What are you gonna do about the rules of the house? What are you gonna do about my space, your space, my time, your time? Like, you need, like, my culture is different from your culture. Like, like me, you're never gonna get on my cell phone. You try to ask, like, hey, let me check your cell phone, I'm gonna break up with you in a heartbeat. Like, and I'm saying, like, I'm not that kind of man. Trust is the first thing you need in a relationship. If you don't have that, then what the hell are you? So there ain't gonna be none of that. And there ain't gonna be none of me asking you, hey, where you been? Just like you're not gonna ask me where I've been. If I've been out on a motorcycle ride, if I've been out in the mountains thinking, well, that's my business. You know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong. There's a difference from being, genuine, just, hey, asking. But I'm saying if it's coming from a bad thing. But, culturally, in Vietnam, there is a lot of cheating that happens between Vietnamese men and women. It is bad. In Asia as a whole, the cheating is horrible. I have not seen so many, like, guys cheating on their Vietnamese men, cheating on their girls or vice versa. Like, it, and this is not just Vietnam. This is Thailand. This is other Asian countries. So, they let these girls get messed up with this whole TikTok and Instagram and blah, 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 which would be another point I need to make. But thinking that, hey, you need to do this. But if you're an American, if you're a Russian, if you're you from the UK, whatever, like, you need to set your boundaries and set them from the beginning. So look, okay, first off, you're not going to be in control of my money. Okay, we can share an account, and then I'll have my own account, or work out whatever works for you. But be sure that you're transparent and that you clarify this from the beginning. Second, I'm gonna need some time to myself. Like, trust me, in a relationship, you need to stay away from each other. You can't be up each other's butt 24/7. How can you miss me if I'm never gone? It's what I've always told. So girls might, take that as you, if they don't know it's a cultural thing, they might take that as you not liking them or cheating. Like, you just clarify, communicate. No, that's just, how American guys are. We need time to get on the motorcycle, go out for a ride, or whatever, go play a game of pool, or just go fishing, whatever, So I guess what I'm trying to say is there's going to be little things like that you're going to need to really clarify You're going to need to set your boundaries. You're going to need to understand that it's a deal package when you're marrying with the family. You're going to need to understand her thoughts, and you're going to keep in mind you came to her country. So when the relationship becomes serious, keep in mind you came to her country. So, you asking her, hey, why don't you just come back to my country and live? It's kind of a little bit, why don't you stay in her country if that's what she wants? Now, if she's willing to go and that's what you guys want. But, and then, I guess my last point is Vietnamese girls are so, no offense, but really into TikTok, which I hate. God, I hate TikTok and Instagram and like trying to photograph their lives. And it's in China, it's in South Korea, it's in Japan, using these face filters and using all this stuff that just makes everybody look fake and trying to literally living your life through a cell phone instead of just living your life. And that's guys do it too. It's not just girls. It's bad in Asian culture. It's just bad in everywhere. But I guess the point I'm trying to say, though, is a lot of their worldview will be shaped through some of the stuff they see. And if you know anything about, these platforms, let's just say that they can socially engineer, call me a conspiracy theorist, but people are shaped by the media that they watch, that you consumed. That is not... that's not as basic, common sense. You will be influenced by what you watch. Why do you think they're called influencers? Marketing. What's the whole point of that? To get you to do things. So that kind of stuff is going to, and it's not going to usually be very favorable if you're an American guy, okay? If you're here in Vietnam, keep in mind, this is, a different kind of government. If you're up north, it's different, maybe different down south, but But most of all, in summary, to wrap it up, love your girl, be honest with your girl, give her space, tell her, look, I need space, respect that space, never take her for granted, be honest, be a man, take your time, be willing to compromise, and be upfront about, look, this is important to me, A, B, C. Like, for example, are you willing to do this? If not, then we should probably, not, you need to do the right thing. Don't let a girl fall in love with you and then, because you were too cowardly to tell her that, look, you're not willing to stay in Vietnam, or you don't want to, be part of her family or something like that. Don't be that guy, okay? Don't be that guy. Be a man. Easy to say when you're 40 years old, 50 years old, or, you're older. And we all, if you're like 20 years old, I get it. We all make our mistakes throughout life, but I'm just saying, take it from an old guy. A man has made a lot of mistakes. Just be a good person, okay? Just try to be a good person. You came here. You came to Vietnam. So, it's on you. It's on you. And a Vietnamese woman will be a loving companion. Can be some of the best girls that you will ever meet. Treat you right, treat you good, loyalty, kindness. If you could find the right girl in Vietnam, I've known a lot of girls, and these girls here, they have values, they have honor. Maybe not so much some of them down in the South partying, and that's why I said anything Western influence I just can't stand. That's why I'm up here in the North, just to get away from all that clubs and nightclubs and bars. But if you could get a girl that's been raised right, she'll stand at your side through thick and thin. So you need to have her back. Don't let her down. Don't let yourself down. So that is dating part 2. Hope that helps. What do I know? Do you see anybody in this apartment? I'm not some guru of relationships. It's just, I hope it helps. Goodbye.